we have Tenille Townes on Pure Country and new music to start 2022. How pumped are you?
I am so excited. I have just been really looking forward to the start of this year, and we kind of been teasing clips of this new song, and it's finally out there, and I'm so excited.
So, when's it going to happen? Which is going to happen right now. So, you tease this song on social media, and then fans, of course, how could they not, freaked out about it and demanded that you release it. And what was it like seeing that? Because that's vulnerable of you to like just be like, "Hey, here's this song I've been working on, not finished it yet, but want to see what you guys think." And then to see the response you got, that's got to be a good feeling.
It's been it's been so wonderful, and truly, I just posted a clip of it on a whim, being like, "Okay, this is really scary." It's also like a really personal song about this window in my life that talks about being single and wondering when it's going to happen. And even in the writing process of the song, I was like, "Oof, this is kind of scary," but also, if I'm feeling this way, I know that I can't be the only one. Like, there's got to be others who feel the same way that I do, and I feel like I was kind of curious and excited to see what would happen. And it has been overwhelming and awesome seeing people respond to it and be like, I feel this too. And it's given me so much courage and enthusiasm to kind of walk into this release. And I definitely musically wanted it, it's definitely a song about the questioning and the wondering of it, but I wanted it to have this sort of uplifting momentum to it that's like, yeah, we're in this together. And also, it's so cool that we're rocking this single part of our lives right now. So let's just acknowledge that too. So I'm pretty excited to have it out there.
It's such an important time in your life. Like, girl, 2.5 years ago, prior to meeting Steven, I went from being the girl driving down the road who would have been listening to that song, bawling my eyes out, but yet also dancing, to like being married with a baby. But that song, like, I
I
feel like single me needed that song because I went through that for so long. I literally took my best friends to weddings as my date who had long term boyfriends because I was like, I have no one else to bring.
I am with you. I do the same thing. I get the invites in the mail. I literally just went through my mail the other day and I was like, there's so many and this is
I'll
crazy.
go with you. I will go
Okay,
with you to
come
the
with
wedding.
me, Shannon, please.
But honestly, I just remember someone telling me when I was single that, like, and you say it in the song, focusing on yourself, trying to find happiness in yourself. And it really is true that it will just happen out of nowhere. But man, is it hard when you are single to hear someone tell you that. You're like, I don't want to hear that right now.
That's so true. That's really cool that you remember kind of holding on to that wisdom in that time though, because I think that's really valuable. And I think, working on ourselves and growing in this season of like, I don't know, being able to work on our own confidence and being our own person is such an important season. It doesn't feel like it in a lot of ways. Yeah,
No,
I get that too, and I feel that as well. But I do think it's important to remember.
I feel like I remember having, moments where I would be so happy that I was single because it just felt so powerful and great. And like literally watching the video of you dancing in your living room with your dog. I was like, I have done that. And then like sat on the couch and cried and watched The Notebook.
Exactly. Yes. Same. And I'm so glad that we all are kind of in this feeling together. That's like, it brings me so much joy to think about that.
What was the writing room like the day that you wrote it? Was it a feeling of empowerment and strength, or was it a mixture of that with a little bit of heartbreak and, sadness?
Definitely a cocktail of all of
Yeah.
those feelings. But I wrote this song actually over Zoom with two friends of mine that I've written a ton of songs with this past year and only hung out with in person once, which just seems crazy to me. But Stephen Rabel and Steph Jones, I just love them both dearly, and was talking about the complete honesty of being like, it feels like everyone else in my life has someone right now. And I'm so glad and grateful they were up for going, what if we wrote a song about exactly that? And like the wondering feeling of it. So it was actually really fun as we kept writing. I'm like, this is kind of hilarious how honest this feels and how good it feels to talk about it. And then also severely terrifying, being like, am I
Yeah.
really gonna say this in this song? Yes, I am. Okay, here we go.
I honestly have so much respect for you because that I remember that, like, listening to the song brought back so many feelings that I was like, "Oh, wow, I really feel I wish I could have listened to that 6
Aw.
years ago." But I feel like it reminds me of a song that if I was sitting down to watch, like, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, that it would be featured in, like, I feel like once it blows up, it's going to be the main song in, like, a huge rom-com.
That is so exciting to think about. Let's put that out into the
Yeah.
atmosphere. Feels good. Thank you,
Okay,
Shannon. Won't
what
forget this
2
moment.
yeah, I'm like, if it happens, I'm gonna just say I put it out there, but,
Yes.
what 2 actors, like an actress and an actor, would you want to play that part,
Ooh, what a good question. That's pretty fun.
right? Who would
Um,
you want to be falling in love to your song?
oh my goodness. I really love Emma Stone. She's so great and hilarious. And I am really a sucker for I wanted to call him his character in The Notebook, but Ryan Gosling. I would probably pick him.
Oh, what's that movie that they're in
Yes,
together?
they're so great. They're in a couple, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
Crazy Stupid Love, which I
that
love.
is one of my favorites. So maybe like Crazy Stupid Love number 2 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Okay.
kind of already been done. Maybe I'll have to adjust my answer, but I do
Yeah.
love them together. Oh, and one of my favorite movies of all time, La La Land, like
Oh,
that's such a
so
good
good.
film, and they're so brilliant in it together. So,
We
yeah,
just need to get them to hear it, and then maybe they'll make sure it's in their next movie.
that sounds like a plan. I love it.
So we have Monday, January 17th. I don't know if you know this, is called Blue Monday, which is said to be the most depressing day of the year, which I remember hearing that when I was, starting at working full time and thinking to myself, like, why are we dubbing a day this? And I feel like, you know, feeling down and depressed and stuff is something that, a lot of people have a hard time talking about. We have Bell Let's Talk Day that's on January 26th. And I have become more confident in talking about, going through those struggles. I know you have,
Yeah.
especially through your music. Songs like this, When's It Gonna Happen, is something that it's like an uplifting but honest, truthful song that speaks about struggles that, you deal with every day.
Yeah.
What are some other outlets other than writing that you use to kind of combat those feelings and help yourself get through those dips?
Yeah, I'm definitely always looking for ways to do that because on the daily, it's like practicing things that kind of help my mind from going into all kinds of different spirals. But I think changing my scenery is something super helpful to me. It's like if I'm feeling stuck in a rut, I'm going to go outside with my dog and hang out for 10 minutes and I'm going to feel better. Or I'm going to go
Yep.
for a walk or I'm going to meet a friend for coffee. I think that's a really big thing is the outlet of actually asking for help or hey, I could use somebody to talk to today. Like that seems like something a couple of years ago that would never be a practice that would cross my mind. But having, kind of worked through some of that in my life recently, it's like, oh no, I need to speak up and ask for something that I need. And
Yeah.
it's okay too. It's actually really brave too.
And I think too, I mean, I really didn't think about it during this past 2 years where a lot of people are at home more, but especially for someone who's going to listen to When It's Going to Happen and feel that so much because maybe they are single. Going through this past 2 years of the pandemic was like you were by yourself, like
Yeah.
feeling loneliness during this time was so much bigger for people who lived alone and didn't have someone to sit at home and watch TV with or whatever. So, yeah, having that support system to be able to call or meet up for a walk is so important.
It is so important. Even just hearing somebody else's voice on the phone is such a helpful thing. And it's so hard in our culture and time right now where it feels like you go on Instagram and you see how everyone else's quarantine or isolation looks like with their person or with
Yeah.
their family or whatever that might look like and it has this way of just completely making you feel like you're the only one who doesn't have that and it's so not true,
Yeah.
and I think it's so important to kind of remember that as we're scrolling through the things that we're looking at and be like, this is kind of triggering this for me. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy that my situation doesn't look like that.
It's so true. And I mean, I was oblivious to that thinking of, when I'd post stuff with our family and till one of my friends, I asked them like, oh, how was your, did you catch up on lots of shows? And she was like, yeah, me and my cat. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, crap. I mean, you just sometimes we don't think outside of the bubble that we're living in, and it's so important to truly think about, how your actions and what you do and what you say can affect someone, because they're going through a totally different journey than you are. And I mean, that's like for me, 2 years ago I was in a very different place than I am right now, and I'm sure you probably have been there too. So
Yep.
yeah, I feel like this song, the timeliness of it is perfection, because I think a lot of people, if they did spend the last 2 years single, dating during this time is very difficult as well.
Yeah.
So just knowing that you're not alone in that, and that it will happen. When,
Yeah.
we don't know.
Right? And honestly, there's so many beautiful parts about having this time to just be on your own too. There's lots of strength that can come out of any of those seasons. So whatever it looks like, you're right. It's just like we're not alone. And um it's good to just kind of, whether you have your significant other or your beautiful family, say hi to your boys for me, by the way. But
I
it's
will.
like dancing around your kitchen with your dog or your person or whatever that looks like is a great thing to do. And I hope that this song is helpful in anybody's kind of walk of whatever their situation looks like.
Well, I was dancing to it in the bathroom while I was getting ready today, and I was like, oh, it's so good. But congratulations. I can't wait to see what the response is from everyone going forward. And I feel like it's going to be such a huge song for you. And I'm just so excited.
Thank you for saying that, Shannon. It means so much.
Ugh.
You're
We
so
need to
awesome.
go hiking soon, and we'll just crank
Yes,
it
please.
and like use it as our
I know.
inspiration.
I would love that. I look forward to getting to hang again very soon. I miss you guys, sending a whole
Ugh,
bunch of love.
we miss you too. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tenille Townes on Pure Country.